Today we are going to talk about family Ranunculaceae. It is a phylum Magnoliophyta or angiosperms. Let us learn their classification, nomenclature, structure and form, reproduction, development of seed, parthenocarpy, human and ecological relevance. First, let us define Ranunculaceae. It is a family of flowering plants, also known as buttercup family or crowfoot family. The family name is derived from genus Ranunculus, a late Latin for little frog, from the word rana, which means frog. It comprises about 2,252 species in 62 genera of flowering plants, mostly herbs, which are widely distributed in all temperate and subtropical regions. In the tropics, they occur mostly at high elevation. Scientific classification of family Ranunculaceae. The kingdom is Plantae or plants, subkingdom Tracheophyta or vascular plants, superdivision Spermatophyta or seed plants, division or phylum Magnoliophyta or angiosperms, class Magnoliopsida or dicotyledons, order Ranunculalis, family Ranunculaceae or buttercup family, genera of 62, species of 2,252. These are the most common Ranunculaceae species. Nomenclature in biological classification is a system of naming organisms. The species to which the organism belongs is indicated by two words, the genus and species name. There are 106 listed genera of Ranunculaceae, but only 65 are accepted. These are the common genera in Ranunculaceae with their name and species. These are the most common plants of the family. Buttercup consists of 600 species, larkspur consists of 365, meadow 330, clematis 325, and aconite 300. They are the largest genera of family Ranunculaceae. The characteristics of family Ranunculaceae consist of structure and form, reproduction, development of seed, and parthenocarpy. For the structure and form of leaves, stem, and roots, the leaves are usually divided or lobed, but are heart-shaped and narrow and undivided in some species. They usually arise from the base of the plant or alternately up the stem, but in clematis they are opposite. The perennial species form a small rhizome or tuber which develops new roots every year. For the structure and form of the flowers, they may be solitary but are frequently in clusters or spikes. In many species, there are no proper petals, and it is the brightly colored calyx which forms the flower. There are usually 5 sepals. Although there are many, they come in a wide variety of shapes. There are many stamens surrounding many fused carpels. Gametophyte development is a sexual phase that develops the reproductive organs of plants. Androecium is the stamens of a plant collectively. Staminodes that does not produce pollen are external to the fertile stamens. Anthers are adnate. Pollen grains are aperture. In Gynoecium, the innermost whorl of a flower is typically surrounded by androecium. They have superior ovary. The carpel are non-stylate. and the embryo sac development are allium type. As for the pollination in family Ranunculaceae, the floral nectaries are present, but in Anemone, Clematis, and Thalectrum, they are absent. Family Ranunculaceae is either insect-pollinated or wind-pollinated. Generally, entomophilous, attracting insects by either nectar or pollen, are Delphinium, Aconitum, and Aquilegia. Then, anemophilous or wind-pollinated are in Thalectrum. For the fertilization, polar nuclei fusion prior to fertilization, endosperm formation nuclear, and embryogeny are onagrad type of embryo development for the endospermic seed. This is an example of the reproduction in the family Canada anemone. It is a windflower. The name anemone is an ancient Greek word meaning daughter of the wind. Ironically, this species prefer sites protected from wind since strong winds can bend or break the thin flower stalks. The flowers are white with many yellow stamens in the center bearing pollen that attract pollinators. The sepals are a division of the outer part of the flower called the calyx and are often green and resembles leaves, whereas petals are a division of the inner part of the flower called the corolla and are often showy and attract insects. You will also notice that there are only sepals and the petals are absent. For the development of seeds with capious oily endosperm and a small embryo. The seeds are carried in several different types of fruit. In Actea, it is a berry. In Clematis, each seed develops a hard woody coating and a fluffy tail. But in most species, seeds develop either as a globe from which they separate when they are riper or inside capsule which splits at the maturity to release them. This is an example of the development of seed in the family. Anemone patents. There is a schematic drawing of different life stages, from seed to seedling, juvenile, immature, virginal, generative, subsenile, and senile or old age. Parthenocarpy is the development of the seed without prior fertilization. Fruits of the family are usually non-fleshy but rarely fleshy. They are aggregate, the carpel are dehiscent, they are follicle, achene, or vacate. Aggregate or etario simply means development from several ovaries, in contrast to simple. The fruits are etario of achenes in Ranunculus and Clematis, etario of follicle in Aconitum and Delphinium. Septical capsule in Nigella or berry in Actea, etario of drupes in Adonis, etario of berries in Hydrastis, and simple pod in Xanthorrhiza. The summary of the characteristics of family Ranunculaceae. Members of this family usually have 5 colored sepals instead of petals, divided leaves, and non-woody tissue. The habits are annual or perennial herbs, tuberous root, herbaceous stem develops from rhizome. The leaves are petiolate, alternate, rarely opposite, simple or compound, exstipulate, and reticulate venation. Inflorescence are cymous and sometimes raceme. The flowers are pedicellate, actinomorphic, or regular. They are complete, having all floral part. They are hermaphrodite or bisexual and have hypogynous ovary or superior ovary. The calyx having 5 sepals, free, imbricate, and petaloid. For the corolla, petals may be absent, sometimes they are changed into nectaries. The stamens are numerous, free, spirally arranged, and basitixed. The carpel are numerous or polycarpellary. The ovary are simple, apocarpous, 1 to several ovules in each ovary. The placentation is basal or marginal. Fruits are etario or aggregate, achenes or follicles, and sometimes berry or capsule. The seeds are endospermic seeds. And now let us proceed to the human and ecological relevance. These are the economic importance of Ranunculaceae. First is condiment. The seeds are used as spice in pickles. Second is medicinal. Alkaloids are used in acute inflammatory diseases. Mamera are used in ophthalmia. The anemone are mostly used in feminine diseases such as menstrual disorder. The black snake root contains resins. This has been recommended for treatment of cholera and nervous pain. Glycosides are used as purgatives in veterinary practices, and delphinium is used as antiparasitic ointment. The third is ornamental. Some of the plants are cultivated in gardens for their beautiful flowers. Examples are Ranunculaceae, delphinium, and clematis. That's all for family Ranunculaceae. Thank you for watching. Presented by Macaradi.